Melanie, and the title of my project is Coping with Bipolar Disorder, Treatment Success for Adolescent Patients and Their Families. And I work with Dr. Yades. So we've all coped with something in our lives. When we've been sick, we've coped by taking medications or going to the doctor. For breakups, I'm sure we all have our way of coping, going out with friends, watching a movie with tough ice cream, it's your choice. And the seniors at our school will have to cope with leaving friends behind, unfortunately, unless they're going to school with certain people. However, coping doesn't work for everybody. People with bipolar disorder, which is why I have this picture here, I discovered that the treatments offered aren't always successful for coping. And a little background information, 2.3 million people suffer from bipolar disorder, 25% of consumers experience onset before 20, 30% of the people with untreated bipolar disorder commit suicide, delayed diagnosis or misdiagnosis contributes to 50% of bipolar consumers abusing alcohol or drugs, and bipolar disorder accounts for approximately $7.6 billion of indirect healthcare costs in the U.S. So I highlighted specific background information in red because I felt they related to my priority population, which were adolescents ages 12 through 18, and I focused on them because when I thought it would be a better idea to address the problem at a young age. And this, for the delayed diagnosis and misdiagnosis and abusing alcohol, teens are pressured into abusing drugs or alcohol, so that was another point in using that. So the purpose was to answer the question, how are medical professionals' treatment recommendations associated with coping success for bipolar patients and their families? And the problem was that patients aren't coping well, and my definition of coping was dealing with the diagnosis and living with it day to day. My study design didn't really go as planned. I wanted to send out my survey electronically, whether it was to patients at the hospital or at school, but I didn't get a lot of positive feedback at school because there weren't enough bipolar patients. So I sent my survey to the Bipolar and Depression Association. I emailed them with my population and I asked them to send it out, and I did, but it came back maybe a lot late. I had 21 survey takers, which is pretty good. I must admit, I wasn't expecting that many. And this is a copy of my survey, and it has 7 questions. It took about 5 minutes, and I asked questions like, has a medical professional diagnosed you with bipolar disorder? Do you understand what it is? And things like that. And the 2 questions I focused on for my relative risk table were, how often do you have an episode, which is either extreme depression or you're very energetic? And on a scale of 1 to 5, how well would you say you are coping with bipolar disorder? And I had to go through my surveys individually to categorize them. And on the 2 previous questions, if patients answered every day or once a week or more, that I considered that multiple episodes. If they said once a month or other, because I've received responses, I haven't had an episode in 9 years or 2 years or 5 years, I considered that few. And on question 7, if they responded of 4 or 5, they were coping well, and if it was less than that, they weren't coping well. And this is my relative risk table. A represents the people who had many episodes and were not coping well. B are few people. People who experienced few episodes and were not coping well. C, many episodes but are coping well, and D, few episodes and coping well. And through my calculations, I discovered there is a relative risk of 1.3, which means that bipolar patients who are experiencing many episodes are not coping well with their disorder. Major conclusions conclusions. The patients need help coping with their bipolar disorder. Yes, they are receiving help from their doctors and however they're receiving treatment, but there's still more help that's needed to help them cope better. And it needs to be addressed so the problem doesn't become worse. And you could relate, like, other studies can be done with other mental disorders like schizophrenia or depression or things like that. And strengths for my project were efficient data collection and use of time, because I wasn't expecting to get that many responses and I had a little trouble getting my data all together. And improvements, I could get more patients and participants for my survey. Yes. And yes, a solution I had was to create a pamphlet with ways to better cope, like have a doctor there and there can be a teach back method and like discuss and go over methods and which would be more efficient for the patient. And I chose a pamphlet because it's very accessible for patients and it's more private instead of being there. And these are my sources. Yes. Are there any questions?